All right, I'd like to give a little update on our latest project car, the 94, what is it, Eagle Summit wagon, all-wheel drive, neat little wagon. Like I said, I got it cheap from the Mitsubishi dealer sitting around behind. It had been sitting for about 3 years. Before that, it was well maintained, undercoated, blah, 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 all this. Supposedly ran good. I think the last video you see me get it home and we were trying to get it started and just kind of cleaned up and went through it. We couldn't get it started, had a hard time getting it started. And then we figured out, actually, eventually we got it started. And then as soon as we got started, it started leaking fuel. So we had a bit of a fuel leak. That was probably why it was hard to start, because the couldn't get enough fuel pressure to fire up properly. And then we also blew a brake line. So it's like, okay, it'd been sitting for a while, sitting in the grass. You get the odd brake line rusting, and it's like, okay. So, long story short, we did a brake line, or no, started doing the fuel line first, and then patched it, and it leaked somewhere else, and patched it, and it leaked somewhere else. Finally, I just gave up, and I ripped all the old fuel lines out, and did the feed and the return from the engine, right from the engine to through the fuel filter to about halfway back in the car. Just replaced it all, and it seems to have solved the problem so far. Then we went on to the brake lines. We had one brake line leaking, so I cut it and replaced it, and by moving the brake line around, another brake line beside it started to leak. Okay, it was this, underneath was all good except for where these brake lines and fuel lines all came together and it was just a ball of rust in one spot. The rest of the car underneath is great. I'll show you in a minute. So anyways, we fixed the second brake line, and then it leaked the third time up near the master cylinder. Replaced that. Got all that, went to bleed today, and blew another brake line further back. So I'm fixing that one, and then noticed that also above the rear differential was leaking too. So I'm fixing that one. Okay, so there's the floor of the vehicle. It's all like solid and everything else. The rockers are all good. Bit of surface rust, but not bad. But then right where the fuel lines and brake lines all went through, you can see there's one I replaced right there. And but up further, it goes up under the firewall. There was a bunch that needed replaced, so fixed all that. But like, it all looks good underneath until you get to, see there. Yeah, see where it goes through these brackets here. That's where they rust. Right where the bracket, the line clips into the bracket. So I replaced that one there with one there, and then it leaked. Well, it was the line the one that goes into the rubber line. So I got that out, but it goes up over the diff. Okay, I don't know if you can tell because I'm so close, but there's the rear lower control arm. That's your diff. And I did the line. See, the floor all looks good. You know, the diff looks a little crusty in the drive shaft, but like up here, this is the floor. That's all good and solid and undercoated. Anyways, I'm doing the brake lines. I do the last brake line, and this here is the tube from the fuel filler. It's metal, and then the rubber goes in here. I went to get out, and I grabbed this, and I pulled to hold myself up, and I just broke that off. So, nice clean brake, nice even. You can see it. Oh, stupid light. It broke like perfectly round. The other piece is still inside the hose. So that's the next thing I got to fix. It's not one thing, it's another. Yeah. So brake lines hopefully are done. Hopefully don't break. I'm running out of brake lines to replace. Fuel lines are done. Now I'm doing the fuel filler. But it's just crazy because the rest of this vehicle is like great underneath. It's like crusty drive shaft and some heat shields, but the floor's good. Well, that's the gas tank. But over there, you can see the floor all looks good and solid. Just a few. I mean, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, but considering it sat in a grass field for 3 years, which is probably what the biggest problem was.
and it's a 94, so I mean we're getting close to 30 years old. But when you look under a car, you see it like this, you figure, oh great, the car's perfect, and then you get into that mess of fuel lines and brake lines, and you touch one and they all start to leak. So that's the update on Kermit. I think we're calling it Kermit.
So I was saying, that's what we're calling it's Kermit. Just because it's green. I posted it on a Eagle Summit Mitsubishi RVR, which is the same vehicle, Facebook group. And the first thing everybody commented on was the color. It was a green. Apparently it's an unusual or rare color. I don't know. It's green. So the name's going to be Kermit because when you think Kermit, you think green. And it's just kind of stuck. I was thinking of like, trying to think other things green. We went with about a Marvin, like Marvin the Martian.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Or Oscar the Grouch.
And now, it's time for me to show you what anger looks like.
Or if you want to go female, there's Princess Fiona from Shrek.
It's me in this body.
But that was just didn't, none of those seemed to fit. Kermit seems to fit. So there's Kermit. I said, so we done fuel lines, brake lines. Now I got to do a fuel filler. The other thing is we got some snow tires for it. If you can see them inside there. We went a little bigger. It has 14s on it. I went up 15s. I tried to lift it. I'm going to put a slight lift on this thing too. Yeah, it's been slow going because I really can't do anything until I get it running. And I couldn't get it running. Finally got the fuel fixed out, so now it runs, but then I can't drive it because it's got no brakes. And I think I finally fixed the brakes. I hope. I got to bleed them next. And then now I can't put gas in it because I broke the tube. It's like, it's not one thing, it's another. For a relatively good-looking vehicle, like, you know, not rotted out, and supposedly runs now. It seems to have a lot of, like, just the brake lines are just killing me. I was like, oh, I'm so sick of doing brake lines. See, I'm sick of doing brake lines, so now it's, hopefully that's done. Get the fuel filler filled. And God, I hope there's nothing else. At least to get it on the road, and then we can start doing stupid stuff to it. Like, so I want to put a lift on it. I've been pricing out brush bars for the front. Put a roof rack on it. You know, kind of go, I think going like a slight rally-ish theme. So yeah, it's a rebadged Mitsubishi. It's a Mitsubishi RVR Eagle Summit wagon. So it's, I'm going for the rally theme-ish maybe. Kind of jack it up a little bit, some lights on it. And then the Mitsubishi arm of rallying is called Rally Art. Thinking of having the logo made up. It's a red logo. I'll put it in the bottom of the screen there. And having that done up and put it on the side, Rally Art, you know, like a rally vehicle. But because it's probably be a Lemons vehicle, I'm going to add the letter F to it and we'll say Rally Fart. But it's a thought anyways. I don't know. It's green. Might put, it ain't easy being green on it.
It's not easy being green.
Being Kermit, maybe we'll put some big bug eyes up in the roof, like Kermit eyes. I like that idea. I don't know. There's lots of options, but right now I just got to get the darn thing on the road. So it's, that's where we are. So it looks good on the outside. Underneath, all the brake lines are rotten. Changing those up. Got the fuel line straightened up. Now I got to do a fuel neck filler. And who knows what else. Other than that, it should be it. So that's where we are so far. Just want to do a quick update, let you know what's going on. Work is happening, just slow. You know, real life gets in the way. I'm not a big YouTuber. I actually have to have a job. I can't do this full time. So it gets, you know, an hour here or two there, you know, so it's going to take a while, but there's no rush. I don't think we're going to make the retreat from Moscow this year. It's in January. It was just too close to Christmas, and I already did one rally a couple months ago, so it's too close budget-wise and that. So get this ready, take our time getting it ready, and it'll probably be a good winter beater for a while because it's got four-wheel drive, and I got some good snow tires for it. So I'll drive back for it to work for a bit, and then get all the bugs sorted out. So come, I don't know, maybe Rust Belt Ramble, I think is the next one. We'll take it on that. I'd love to do Alaska, but again, that's not in the budget, and it just happens to fall on a time that my wife is retiring the day of, and if I took off just as she retired, might not be good. So, and she doesn't want to come. So anyways, that's where we are. Welcome, Kermit, to Scrapyard Refugees team. You just got to come up with a theme, or maybe we'll just leave him green. He's kind of goofy enough as it is, and you don't see these vehicles around too often. You know, it's kind of like a minivan. It's got the sliding door, but it's like a car too. It's kind of low to the ground. It's just a weird looking car. I can't really show you in the garage here because it's still closed, but you've seen pictures out in the trailer. It's just a goofy looking car, and they don't make them anymore. So, which is why I was attracted to it. So there's Kermit, and yeah, we'll keep you updated on when Kermit actually makes it to the road. God, who knows when. Thanks.